You know how sometimes you're doing a simple, almost mindless task, and then suddenly, boom, a huge idea just clicks into place? Well, today, we're diving into a revelation that came from exactly that, the simple physical act of chopping wood. It all starts with a very basic observation that ends up leading to something way, way deeper.
So, it all kicks off with this one line. The person behind our source material was just out there trying to split logs for firewood, nothing special. But in that process, they stumbled onto this incredible metaphor for life, for human character, and really for the human spirit itself.
And what they found was this tale of two totally different kinds of wood. I mean, on the outside, they might have looked pretty much the same, but once the axe came down, it told a completely different story.
First up, you've got the wood you kind of expect, right? You line it up, you bring the axe down with a good solid swing, and you get that perfect, satisfying crack sound. It splits cleanly in two. It's exactly how it's supposed to work. But then you run into the other kind of wood. You hit it with the exact same force, right in the same spot, and the axe just thuds. It bounces right off. So you try again and again. Maybe you even get another axe to wedge into the tiny little crack you've made, but it just will not give up. So when you put them side by side, the difference is just wow. The normal wood, the easy stuff, has a straight grain. When you split it, you see this flat, even surface. But the special wood, the tough stuff, when it finally gives, you see this twisted, almost spiral pattern inside. This isn't just on the surface, it's baked into its very structure.
And that, of course, leads you to ask the big question. What is going on here? This isn't just about being a harder type of wood. What happened during the life of these trees to make them so radically different at their very core?
Well, it turns out the answer is right there, literally written into the wood itself. The secret isn't about what kind of tree it is, but the story of how it grew. To really get it, we've got to talk about the grain. It's way more than just a pattern you see. It's a living record. Think of it like the tree's autobiography, telling the entire story of every storm it had to weather and every single pressure it had to fight against to survive.
So, that wood that splits so easily, well, it probably had a pretty chill life. It likely grew up in a calm, protected spot. It just shot straight up towards the sun without much of a struggle, and its grain reflects that easy, straightforward life.
But the wood that fights back? The one that resists the axe? Its story is all about hardship. Maybe it grew on a super windy cliffside, or it was always getting pushed around by other trees, fighting for a little bit of sunlight. That constant pressure forced it to twist and turn as it grew, forging this incredibly strong, interwoven spiral grain.
And this is where it all clicks. This is where the simple act of chopping wood suddenly becomes this deep insight into us. The author realized this isn't just about trees at all. It's about people. The connection is just so clear when you apply it like this. You have people who grow up in loving, stable homes. They often develop a straight grain. They tend to be gentle, pure, easy to connect with. But then you have people who face constant hardship, and they develop a twisted grain. Their character might be more complicated, sure, but they have this incredible resilience, this powerful will.
This quote from the source it hits the nail on the head. It's not a criticism, it's an observation of pure strength. The very things that might have made someone seem difficult or complex are also the exact source of their unshakable spirit. You see, they're hard to break because life has already tried to, over and over, and it failed.
Okay, so what do we do with this? If we really lean into this metaphor, how does it change how we interact with people, especially the ones we might find a little challenging? Well, the source gives us a guide, not on how to change them, but on how to understand them.
Here's the practical advice. Instead of meeting that resistance with more force, like just banging an axe against wood that won't split, the better approach is empathy. Try to understand their past. Offer some compassion for the struggles that shape them. And maybe, most importantly, know when to stop pushing.
And the reason for this is pretty simple, really. Just like the grain of that wood was set by years and years of growth, a person's core character is forged by their life experiences. You can't just come along and try to split it in half with one single argument or a strong opinion.
At the end of the day, trying to brute force your way through it's a losing game. You're not going to split the log, you're just going to dull your own axe. And in human terms, you're not going to change their mind, you're just going to damage the relationship and create a whole lot of unnecessary conflict.
But, and this is so important, This isn't about slapping labels on people, saying one type is good and the other is bad. Nope. The final, and maybe the biggest insight here, is that both types of grain have their own unique value and their own purpose in this world.
Think about it. That straight-grained wood is perfect for building houses and making furniture because it's predictable and easy to work with. But that tough, twisted-grained wood, that's a special material. It's valued for its unique strength and resilience precisely because of its journey. The world absolutely needs both.
And it all comes together with this really beautiful final thought. Whether someone is straight-grained or twisted, gentle or resilient, every single person is a product of their own unique journey. And each one is a natural creation, a treasure.
So I guess the question I want to leave you with is this. Who do you know that was forged in hardship? And maybe, instead of just seeing them as difficult, we can ask ourselves, what incredible tenacious strength do they have because of it? And what is their special, unique value?